Modern Warfare 3 is just days away from release, and after playing the beta, I love it. But there is one glaring issue that needs to be fixed before this game launches. And no, it's not skill-based matchmaking, although that is an issue that we can talk about later. Let's get into it. The issue is the respawns. How do they work? And they don't really make any sense. I didn't get a chance to record a ton of footage showing this, but both myself, my friends, and other content creators that I've communicated with all expressed that same thing, that they kept seeing these spawns being inconsistent and seemingly random, flipping the spawn when it really shouldn't. So keep that in mind as we watch this. For any of you that have played Domination, especially that have actually tried to win the game, because I know a lot of us just run around and get kills and have fun, which is fine, right? That's your only thing. But I have friends that are crazy objective based. Like, they get so mad if you do it wrong. So A and B is what we hold. That's what you want. If you can hold 2 points, you win the game. So right here is a great example of what I'm talking about. You can see the UAV scans over. Let's pause it there. So we have on our UAV, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 on our UAV. There could be another 2 ghosted, or they could be respawning right now. We don't know. But you can see the enemy has C and B. We have A. My teammates, the furthest one is down here, and all the rest are on A. So if any of us die, we should always respawn closer to this side on A, right? Maybe you could inch towards B a little bit, like in this area. Now, if the team's smart, the enemy team will sit right here, covering these 3 lanes, and just camp on B, because nobody can get behind C unless they're really clever and can, walk all the way around with using covert sneakers or whatever, use the underground, that kind of thing. But as a whole, you got these 3 lanes covered, they hold C and B, and they win. Now watch what happens. Okay, my teammate just died right here. So now for sure, every one of our peeps is out on A. Our domination point is on A. So without a doubt, my teammate should respawn right here. Is that what happens? Nope. Right here. Prime example. So now the red team, who has worked so hard to establish C and B, is now holding it like they should. We're all stuck in A like little pansies. And boom, we get a free spawn in C. If my teammate is good, he will eliminate the one guy in C, grab C, and now we have the advantage. And I saw this respawn over and over again. Again, I mentioned my friends who get really mad when you don't play the objectives. Multiple times, we had A and B, and they're like, okay, stay here, don't go past this. I would die, and I spawned right here. And they'd be like, why are you in C? You're flipping the spawn. I didn't flip it. The game flipped the spawn. I don't know why. Don't blame me. Okay. You know, right? I love you guys. I really, really love you guys playing. Side note, we got a hilarious video coming out with some rocket launchers in that squad. Some of the most fun I've ever had playing Call of Duty, period. As long as we keep spawning back here, which we should, because we have A and they have B and C, they're sitting here. They should be able to keep us here and just milk the clock because they're getting more points on domination. Now, why does this matter on team deathmatch? The same type of thing. If everybody's just out for themselves getting kills, it still sucks. But if you work as a team in team deathmatch, which the game's designed to do that, even if you don't, you hold the 3 lanes with your team right about where B is. You got your 3 lanes covered, and then maybe a couple guys back here watching the underground and making sure nobody flanks around. And every time I peek out, I get sniped. Every time I peek out, I get hit by an LMG. And even when I kill one of these enemies, then this guy on their team, not my team, will come and fill this lane. Camp here, watch that lane until this guy responds and they can reestablish. It used to be that you could look at the map, especially the mini-map, and get a pretty good idea of where the team would spawn. So it makes having team strategy in the game ineffective. Because even if you're playing what should be strategic, the random spawns take away all strategy and predictability. Let me break into a side note. Spawn camping. The way spawn camping works, and especially used to work, let's say if we have a hard spawn in this corner of the room and their spawn is in this corner of the room. Old school spawn camping, you would have people sitting right here and right here. And then as soon as people spawn and start running, they're just getting lasered every single time. Right? So that's a problem, especially if you're on team deathmatch. You could get spawn camped the entire match if you're back on like old school Call of Duty, like Call of Duty 2. World War II. That one, like way back, right? Like the first game I played. The mechanic they introduced, which was really good, is there's random spawn points, but they flow according to where the players are in the map. So let's say we're all getting lasered from our left here. We're getting lasered from straight forward. So as soon as we're popping up, we're all dying. When the game would detect that the enemy is now basically in our spawn, it would flip the spawn. So now our spawn moves to here, let's say. I know I'm oversimplifying it. So that way you can't spawn camp. So the strategy then was good teams, if they're playing domination or team deathmatch, would hold roughly this point here. So you hold the middle lane, you hold the left lane, and you hold the right lane. Someone else would have to watch this little under area, right? And then you wouldn't go much past this point here if you're the red team. That way, we'll keep spawning here, but you have all the angles held. And so you can dominate pretty well because you know nobody's going to wrap around you. But by making the spawns completely random like they are now, see, so again, we still hold A. We have our dudes run around C. So I could understand maybe some people spawning around B right now. We have a guy on C directly. He gets taken care of. So even if the team was doing a great job looking this direction, holding all of us off, protecting B, we're now spawning completely behind them at C. The only way to defend that would be is if you have C and B, you'd have to have 3 people guard this direction and somehow having 3 people guarding this direction, which doesn't work at all because you're going to get all the fire from here when people spawn A. But then when people spawn C, it's going to be random too. You're going to have someone spawn here, someone spawn here, someone spawn here, all from the enemy team, even though you hold that position. This isn't game breaking, but it does greatly affect the flow of the game. It greatly affects the feel of the game, and it greatly affects the frustration level that this game produces, particularly if you're on the more skilled side. I'm not saying the game's gonna suck. I really like the game. I really love the game. It's my favorite Call of Duty in years, for sure. But Call of Duty needs to focus on rewarding skilled players. So if you are skilled, if you're working as a team, if you're strategic, the spawn should reflect that. Now, you don't want true spawn camping like I showed earlier, where you're just shooting everybody as soon as they spawn. That's where the spawn needs to flip to the other side. That's what it's designed for. But to be overly sensitive or randomly spawn really is illogical to the flow and strategy of Call of Duty. This also encourages solo players just to go and do their random thing because it doesn't really matter if you work as a team or not. They're going to spawn wherever anyways. I noticed this in team deathmatch, even when I was playing like solo, not really caring about my team, is I'd get 2 or 3 kills and I look at the map and I have a nice flow, and then all of a sudden someone would shoot me from behind. And this happened over and over and over and over again. So much so that I started, after I got about 2 kills, I would immediately turn around. And very often I would end up killing the same person I just killed a moment ago because they spawned behind me, even though they shouldn't have. Let's talk about skill-based matchmaking. Skill-based matchmaking, or SBMM, its whole purpose is to make the game more fun for all players, or more competitive, maybe is the better word. If you're unfamiliar with it, the way it works is if you are a terrible Call of Duty player, you got a 0.2 KD, over time, the algorithm's going to read that, and it's going to put you in lobbies with other terrible Call of Duty players. And then you're going to feel like you're not terrible because, oh, occasionally I'm on the leaderboard. Oh, occasionally, oh, look at me. I got a 2 KD on this match. I'm actually getting good at this game. On the flip side, if you're an extremely skilled player, if you're a pro level player and you have a 5, 6 KD, something crazy like that, you're going to be put in lobbies with very skilled players with the 3 KDs and up. And so every single one of your games is going to be so hard, so sweaty. Even just a random multiplayer match is going to be extremely difficult for that player. Now, they're still roughly at their skill level. The problem with this is it kind of punishes good players for being good because they can never play against normal or bad players. Like I'm above average. I'm somewhere in that. So I probably get penalized a tiny bit from skill-based matchmaking, but it's not a huge thing. Like if I got put in a pro lobby or a high-end lobby, I'm going to get whooped on. And that's okay. The developers' thought behind this is they want everybody to be able to enjoy the game and have fun. And there's truth to that. But there's also a level of when you suck at a game and someone just wipes you and your whole team, Can we applause for them? Can we say, dang, that person's really good? Instead of complaining about, oh, these guys are too good. Like, just get good. Most of the time, you're going to have a bunch of other people like yourself naturally. That's the skill's going to be all over the place. So I'm not completely opposed against skill-based matchmaking, but I think it needs to be less punishing for the better players. That's where you enter in modes like ranked. If you want to play with people that are your skill level, play ranked. If you're not good, you won't rank up and you'll stay in the low lobbies. If you're good, you'll rank up and you'll play against the better players. You think about ranked actually is skill-based matchmaking. And I feel like it should be more in ranked and less in just the random public lobbies. All that being said, the random spawns need to get fixed. It needs to be more predictable. It needs to make sense strategically from the standpoint of the game. If you're holding A and B, please do not randomly spawn my team at C when the enemy's working the opposite direction. And same thing, don't randomly spawn their team at A. Fix this random spawn issue. Make it less aggressive. Make it to where you spawn with your team on the side that your team is on, unless they're genuinely spawn camping. Yes, Call of Duty is really not so much a team-based game in terms of how most people play it, but when you want to play as a team, the flow and the spawn should actually aid your good strategic play as a team. Again, I cannot wait for Modern Warfare 3 to come out. The campaign's going to get released on November 3rd. It's coming up so soon. Look out for videos on that. I'm very excited to play that before the multiplayer comes out. Keep an eye out for multiple Warzone The Haunting videos coming out soon with zombies and all the different modes, as well as more talk about Modern Warfare 3, what I'm looking forward to, what they've done great, and how we together as a community can make Modern Warfare 3 one of the best Call of Duties we've seen, especially in recent years. Bye.